welcome to the Crossroads. I'm your host, Angela Rajniganda. So, today I wanted to talk about some of the things that I used to do or believe in my spiritual practice that I no longer do. Things that I believe are exaggerated or myths or things that just don't resonate anymore. And and this is just specifically for my practice. If some of you still do these things or these things are helpful for you, that's totally okay. Like I always say, there's no right or wrong when it comes to your spiritual practice. This is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. And so I'm kind of just going to run through this list pretty quickly. Starting with number one, the love and light, high vibes all the time scam. Now, I've talked about this before. This is complete bullshit, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but it is. This is spiritual bypassing at its best. This whole phony baloney love and light is such a scam, I think, to subdue people, to make them excessively passive so they don't actually look at the ugliness in the world or in themselves, so they don't actually rise up or fight back or take charge of their life. And I'm pretty passionate about this one. I have a whole video on this one. It was one of my very first podcast episodes. Go look at that one. And then number two, the need to be vegan or vegetarian. Such bullshit. I'm sorry. I was vegan for years. I was vegetarian for years. Some people do well in this diet. Other bodies are not meant to be vegan or vegetarian. And forcing yourself to be is just harmful. You do not need to be vegetarian or vegan in order to be truly spiritual or to ascend. It's lies. It's bullshit. You are not going to fall behind because you eat meat. Are all the carnivorous animals of the world, like lions and bears, sharks, cats and dogs, our pets, are they never going to ascend because they eat meat? No, of course not. If anything, they're probably further along than we are. Bullshit. Eat meat if your body does better with meat. And while we're kind of on this topic of food, number three, the need to only eat organic. Now, don't get me wrong on this one. Eating organic is absolutely best. If you are lucky enough to be able to afford eating all organic foods or grow all your own foods, that's fantastic. But if you're not able to make that happen at this time, that's okay. Trust in your body's natural ability to transmute any toxins that are present in that food. Trust in your body's natural detoxification process. And don't stress about it. The stress and the worrying about your diet, I think, will do far more damage than the toxins ever would. And this also goes for your personal care products and your household products as well. You can pick and choose where is most important to you to be organic or where it's the most practical in your life. And to be able to admit like when it's just not the right time for that, and it's okay. That's absolutely okay. Trust in your body's natural ability to transmute those things that are not for your highest good. And then number four. Are we on number four already? Yeah, okay. This is again on kind of the health and wellness side. My nose is so itchy. I don't know, allergies. Supplements. So I spent years working as a personal trainer and a yoga instructor and a holistic nutritional coach. Supplements. Everyone talks about supplements and you see them advertised everywhere. If you have an actual deficiency, then yes, take the supplements. But all of these detox supplements and the pineal gland decalcification supplements and the ultimate health and wellness supplements, you don't need it. You absolutely don't need it. And more than anything, they're probably not even doing anything. I think it was Michael Pollan that said, be the kind of person that takes all the supplements, but then don't take them. Save your money. He means like, live the life, be healthy, eat well, but you don't need to spend hundreds every month on all these supplements. Your body can decalcify its own pineal gland. Your body can detoxify itself. You don't need all the supplements. Number five, you also don't need all the expensive retreats and workshops and classes. These things can be really fun and they can even be really helpful on your healing journey, but they are so not needed. Spiritual growth and healing is free. You can do it on your own, in the comfort of your own home, for free. And that's always been the focus of my healing sessions and classes, is teaching people how to heal themselves, because you shouldn't need to constantly go to a healer. You shouldn't need to spend hundreds of dollars blowing through your savings thinking you need to go to these expensive retreats and things to be spiritual, to ascend, to heal. You don't need to. It's scammy, it's highly profitable for other people. You don't need it. Number 6 are twin flames. Now, I'm not saying twin flames don't exist. I'm just saying it's highly exaggerated. You are likely not here on some great mission to reunite with your twin flame, your other half. So much of that is a scam. People are making a lot of money on twin flame coaching and encouraging people to obsess in these very toxic relationships or obsess over finding their other half. I just don't fall for that. Twin flames may exist, but they're not what they're made out to be. It's not this massive union that's happening. It's been exaggerated. Don't fall for the traps. Don't pay someone a ton of money to do the readings on the twin flames and how to lure in your twin flame. It's just, don't do it. And now number 7. This one is going to make some people mad. But this whole free-lovin', hippy-dippy casual sex thing, this idea that it's empowering for women or for anyone to just have sex with whoever and whenever. There's no such thing as casual sex. When you really start to see the energetic exchange that happens, especially for women as the receivers, when you have sex, it will make you a lot choosier about who you are deciding to unite with sexually. Which is supposed to be a very sacred union that has been completely corrupted. There is no such thing as casual sex. Number 8, for things like Reiki, energy practices like that, you do not ever need to be anointed to practice a healing technique, things like that. I know some people are really going to disagree with me on this too. You do not need permission. You do not need powers to be passed down to you in that way. You already have it in you. And your guides, God, the universe, whoever, they can anoint you too. You do not need some other human to do it for you. You do not need permission from some other human to practice a healing technique. You know, taking the Reiki classes and getting that anointing can be a great boost, and it can be a good experience, and it can be educational, but you do not need it. You already have that power within you. And really, you don't ever really need a teacher at all. All that you ever really need to know is already within you. It will naturally come from you. Everything will always come back to you going within for guidance and for healing, for everything. And now number 9. This one has more to do with the darkness and the corruption in our kind of outside world, okay? You do not need to run and hide from this darkness, okay? It's a part of our world. It's something that I think you need to learn how to work with instead of running and hiding from it or trying to avoid it. And let me explain what I mean by this. Like, for some people, they start learning about the darkness of Hollywood, okay? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So they then refuse to listen to their favorite bands and their favorite music. They refuse to watch their favorite movies and actors, and you just don't need to do that. You can still admire and enjoy that body of work. You can still separate the work from the person. And it's kind of the same with politics too. Politics will always affect you, okay? Ignoring the corruption, ignoring what's going on in politics, and calling it love and light, calling it staying high vibe, staying out of it, not getting involved in the show, the world stage, you know? You can't run and hide from politics. It affects your country, it affects your city, it affects your home, it affects your livelihood, your food, your children. It will affect you. You need to learn how to work with it without absorbing it and without giving into it or getting too caught up into it. You just need to know how to play the game, if you know what I mean. Because ignoring it and calling it love and light, you're going to be really surprised what happens later on because you are a part of this world and so are these other darker things. Ignoring it and pretending like that's high vibe, that's not going to end well for you. I'll just say that. So learn how to play the game. Maybe I'll talk about that game a little later on too. And now kind of related to this is star seeds, okay? Star seeds, you are here to have the human experience. You have incarnated on this planet at this time to experience the planet at this time. Don't try to escape that. Be present in this. As soon as people learn about their galactic origins, they start kind of looking down on just being human, okay? And experiencing the human world and the human challenges. Because, they feel they're above that, they're a starseed, they're from these amazing galactic planets and races. And yeah, that can be true, but you are here to be human right now. And being human is a very powerful thing to be. Experience it. Experience everything that being human is. And part of that is the corrupted world we live in right now. Experience it, learn it, be a part of it. Not of the corruption, but you know what I mean? Like, look at it, experience it. That's why you're here after all. And this also kind of brings me to number 11, past lives. It is so cool when you start discovering your past lives, but do not overly identify with them. You are here now in this lifetime. Be present in it. No matter who you were in a past life, no matter how famous you were or whatever, your current lifetime is just as valuable. Don't try to cling onto an old one. Heal what needs to be healed in past lives, carry on and embrace what needs to be embraced, but be you right now. There's a reason you incarnated in this lifetime. This is the most important lifetime for you right now. Don't overly identify with a past life or cling to a past life. You see people all the time talking about how I was this person in my past life and I was from this planet, I was this race and I had these abilities, and they try to be that again. They try to identify with that again and make that their identity now. And, just like imagine if you discovered that you were Cleopatra in a past life. I don't know. And so maybe you start dressing in a certain way to reflect this and start acting a certain way and you start teaching from this perspective, whatever it is. You start embracing it and trying to embody that as who you are now. Okay? And just think about, what if Cleopatra did the same thing? What if Cleopatra or whoever, discovered they were this other person in a past life and they started becoming obsessed with that person. They started living their life as that person did, trying to pull that lifetime into her current one. It would then diminish her greatness, who Cleopatra was. You know what I mean? It would diminish that lifetime if she was trying to obsessively cling onto a past one. That's the same thing that you would be doing now, trying to kind of escape this current lifetime and embracing an old one. For all you know, there may be a future lifetime of yours that may be calling upon you right now from this lifetime. You need to be this person for them. You need to embrace this lifetime. Be you now, because that's exactly who they are going to need. They're not going to want you, but obsessed with whoever that you thought you were in a past life. Be you now. And like I said, embrace aspects of it. Do the healings, embrace abilities or whatever naturally comes in, but that is not who you are now. Do you understand what I mean by that? And all right, so let's move on to number 12. In your spiritual practice, whether it's witchcraft or whatever it is, you do not need to do all the things, okay? You don't need to do all of the crystals and all of the herbs and the sacred geometry and this and that. You don't need to do all of the fads, all of the trends. You don't need to do it all, okay? Just focus on what naturally comes in for you, what feels natural for you. Don't think you have to implement every technique, every tool, because not everything is actually going to be for your highest good. And the same goes for healing. You can't force yourself to heal everything all at once. Focus on what is naturally coming up for you at a given time. So I guess with that one, just be intuitive about your practice. Don't feel any pressure to do any certain things or to heal any certain things. Pay attention to what is actually calling you at a given time. All right. 13, the practice of shielding yourself energetically. This is something I did a lot because I was so sensitive, and it did help. It was important that I did that. You kind of draw in and shield your energy field from negativity of others or the environment or whatever it is. You shield yourself, protect your energy. And what I've come to learn is that constantly shielding yourself is very overrated. But shining your light outward instead is so much stronger, and you become untouchable. And a big part of why I think that is because when you're shielding and you're drawing yourself in and cocooning yourself in your protective bubble or however you like to do it, it's almost a fear response. You're afraid of those things getting in, so you're shielding and you're hiding. But if you embrace your inner power, your inner light, and you shine it outward instead, that creates a barrier. Nothing of a lower vibration can pass through that. And you become untouchable. It's so much stronger. So I invite you to try that. Try that instead. If you feel like you have to shield a lot, shine your light outward instead. All right. And now, where are we at? 14. And into 15 as well. So we're wrapping it up now. The rules. All the rules, guys. You know how I feel about rules by now. Witchcraft specifically. Guys, there are no rules. You make the rules. We are told that we have to do things like let the candle burn all the way down to complete the spell. You don't need to. You can if you want to. I like to do that, but sometimes I can't. Sometimes I have to leave. You decide. You can decide to put the spell on pause if you can't let the candle burn all the way. You can decide to just burn a little bit and that's enough. You decide it. You don't have to let it burn all the way down to finish the spell if you don't want to. You decide. And they tell us that, the spells you put out will come back ×3. Only if you decide it will. Only if you choose to believe that. What you decide to believe is what will happen. You make the rules. And it reminds me of a story I had with an old acquaintance. We were sharing an office space, and we were talking about feng shui, and she was feng shuiing her stuff. And I like feng shui. I do it a little bit more eclectically, though. I do it differently. But so we had a trash can by the front door to the store, to the office. And she was saying, well, that's going to eat up our abundance, our profits. And, having that trash can by the front door is known in feng shui to cause problems with your abundance. It's going to eat it up, right? It's going to go right in the trash. And I said, and she's not wrong. That's the rule in feng shui. But me, I don't play by rules. I said, well, no, I just don't believe that. And she said, well, why not? And I said, because, well, I believe that I'm more powerful than a garbage can. I'm more powerful than a garbage can. Why would you want to give away your power to that garbage can and decide that garbage can is going to eat my profits? Then it will. If you decide to believe that, then it will happen. But why on earth would you give your power away to something like a garbage can? So if I decide, no, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And so what I told her was what if instead we choose that garbage can, because the reason we have it there is because people would come in with their drinks and stuff and then leave them laying around. Instead, that garbage can is there for people to drop their baggage at the door. Drop their garbage at the door so it's not coming into our space. That garbage can is protecting our space, protecting our energy. If we decide that that's what it's going to do, then that's what it's going to do. So let's choose that. Let's choose that. And that's just one example of how you make the rules. You decide. And it's kind of the same with astrology too. Because I see people playing by all the rules of astrology, of Mercury retrograde, of this is going to happen because of this. Only if you decide it so, but you can decide differently. Like with Mercury retrograde, everyone says it's going to wreak havoc, with your electronics and with this and with that and misunderstandings and whatever. But it doesn't have to. Like, you can decide to use that time, use that power. And the way that I do this specifically with Mercury retrograde is that you use it too, because it's moving backwards, right? It's stalled, it's moving backwards. I use that time to wrap up things from the past that maybe I need closure on still. Maybe an old project I started and never finished. I use it as this energy of going back. It's not disruptive. It's not chaotic. I use it in a way that benefits me. And you make the rules this way. I don't know how many times I need to say it. You make the rules. You decide what works for you. You make it happen. If you buy into the rules that you're reading about in books or whatever, then that's what's going to happen. It's all about your beliefs. But you choose what to believe. And I think by doing that, you'll quickly see, just how powerful you are when you start choosing what to believe and what rules apply to you, what you want to apply to you. You know what I mean? And this kind of goes to number 15, my very last point I want to make. That young practitioners, not age-wise, but new practitioners, they do all the things, all the techniques, they follow the rules, they play nice, they do all the things, right? But it's advanced practitioners that go rogue, okay? They smoke and they drink and they cuss and they break all the rules and they live their life how they want to live their life. They make their own rules. They don't play by anyone else's rules. And this is something to strive for. As a new practitioner, you decide what your rules are going to be. Don't follow the rules, okay? There's, practical tips and things that you can try, but only keep what actually fits, what you actually think works for you, not controls you. You know what I mean? Advanced practitioners go rogue, okay? That's my advice. Don't follow the rules. Don't follow the rules. And I guess that's what this whole episode is about, is that you first start learning about spiritual practices and there's all these rules and all these things you have to do and all these things you have to embrace. No, you don't. No, you don't. You decide, okay? And with that, thank you for joining me. And as always, if you'd like to book an appointment with me for a reading or a healing session, you can do that on my website, angelarajniganda.com. If you'd like more support, ongoing support with your spiritual practice and your growth and your healing, please join me over on Patreon with the Shadow Light Tribe. Thank you for joining me here at the Crossroads. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for joining me at the Crossroads. Visit me at angelarajniganda.com and connect on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and please join my Patreon for more exclusive content that I don't share anywhere else. Please note that this podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and is not professional advice. Remember, there is a time for love and light, and there is a time for raising hell. Until next time, I'll meet you at the Crossroads.